What's up, YouTube? So I have a referral from a shop I do work for in Northeast Philly, and I also do diagnostic work for them also. And I had to get my truck on the AC machine. So I replaced a compressor and orifice tube from Pep Boys almost, I think, 2 years ago, maybe a little less. And the air started getting hot. Go figure, right? So I checked it, and I thought I saw it had a little leak to it, and I suspect that it's got a leak. And why is that? Well, when I start it up, the system's cold, and as I drive it, it's hot. But that could be for many reasons. So now, I thought I replaced the AC condensing unit. I didn't do that. It's full of bugs. I just washed it out. But now we're in recovering. I want to see what the refrigerant holds, and then I'll make my evaluation after I see how much refrigerant in it. So on to this Toyota Corolla. So they sent the car here for a CAT. There was no engine light on, so they probably cleared it, trying to get it through inspection. Because PA does a very good job. PA does a very good job with a enhanced emissions and safety inspection. And why can they have a state inspection program that works and New Jersey cannot? Pretty simple. Privatize the state inspection standards, force the people on the roads to go to the private inspection centers and fix their cars, generate revenue. Okay, that's how you generate revenue and jobs. Okay, don't leave it up to the state employees to do it. Leave it up to the garages who, take pride in what they do, want to service the customer, want to fix cars, want to decrease the population, want to decrease the inconveniences on the roads for breakdowns and cars burning up and falling apart. On and on and on and on. So I'm rambling. So I'm going to make up the converter assembly. So we're going to use a MagnaFlow front section. I cut the flange off the old converter, and then non-OBD 2-cat in the back, because this is only sampling one converter. The important part of what I want to show you here is the car doesn't appear to be a POS. All right, so no leaks from here. You got some quick lube glue stick stuff. 130,000 miles. I don't know if it needs a tune-up. Definitely needs the tires and alignment. But the important part of this conversation is right there. Do you see that oxygen sensor? So that piece that's inside the pipe, it's a very, very, very ashy brown white. So that means it's more on the leaner side, but probably very close to where it needs to be. But a bit too lean based on what I'm seeing. But not lean enough to trip an engine light, okay? So now here's the downstream one, all right? You can see that it's not black. And then you can see the flow of the exhaust. So the exhaust will actually come and just circle around this because it's in the exhaust path. And you can see right there, it's doing really nothing. And then you can see where the exhaust system is making smart. This is telling you something's wrong. Something's not 100% right. It's a tad too lean. Is it a tad too lean from dirty injectors, dirty mass airflow sensor, fuel pump sock in the gas tank, strainers getting clogged, many, many things that attribute to why the efficiency code comes on. In most cases, if the car runs very well, okay, in the customer's opinion, even my opinion, hey, it runs good. But I don't really know what's going on until I start looking at sensors and spark plugs and oil consumption and filters. Then I can say, hey, something's going on. But I don't get that opportunity when they send it and say, hey, it needs a CAT. What I tell my vendors is, hey, make sure you at least do a tune-up on this thing. But if you're doing a converter job and you're pulling the O2 sensor out, right, and it looks like this, the light has to go off in your head and say, man, that looks it looks awfully white. That's lean. Same thing in the front, awfully white, very lean. So a lean air-fuel ratio or mixture, and it may not be all the time. It could happen at certain things, but not lean enough to cause an engine light other than the CAT efficiency code. It's because the converter is overheating. It's overheating because there's too much heat from being lean. Okay, you ever hear vehicles running lean? Well, lean gets to the point to where it melts down spark plugs, pistons, valves, things like that. What a too rich mixture would be black and carbon soot, dark. So just use this for a reference, white, and then you see how it changes. So what you're really looking for in the back of your O2 sensor is probably more on the threads than it is anything else. The thread color. So this car definitely has an issue that may or may not get resolved. But if you're changing your converter and you see that the upstream O2 sensor is black, the downstream O2 sensor is black, the converter only failed because of that. If you pull the converter off and you see the O2 sensor is red or pink or blue, that's usually antifreeze or methanol or not methanol. Depends. Race cars use windshield washer fluid to wet the intake to cool the combustion charge. So the colors really tell you what's going on. So red is typically antifreeze, okay? Pink, antifreeze. But the colors of the oxygen sensors tell a real good story. So if you see black, dark brown, black and dark brown, too much oil, too much fuel, it could be anything. Lack of compression, valves not sealing, dirty injectors, drippy injectors, many, many things. The moral to this story is the cat is not the only problem. Nobody else wants to hear that, because once the converter has a problem, and then somebody like me who says, hey, you need to start doing more work, now you're talking, wow, to get this car maintenanced up and tuned up right in the converter, $2,000. And then what happens if it has, carbon buildup on the valves and needs an induction service and this, that, and this burns oil? Dude, it gets expensive. So maintain your car. Thanks for watching.